So I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Slato, and welcoming everybody to this occasion. We are all new here and we don't know ourselves, right? So I want us to take like 2 minutes so that we get to know who is close to you, right? And then after that, I'll ask you. You know someone already. Please, if you know someone already, I think we have to get that
Okay, how big are you guys? Figure out what you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Sage. Thank you. So I'll give an extra 1 minute. I'll give an extra 1 minute to that. And I'll come back. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are about to. So I'd like to call out a few people to get to know those people. I would like to pinpoint anybody, right? First of all, I would like to please anyone would like to tell me who he or she was.
Hello everyone, so I met Anne, who is really, really smart. Oh! And then I met Ayoko. I love her, girl. She's super smart. So I'm feeling like I can't see. I met Philip. Okay, so I'm cheating on this. I'm cheating on this. He changed his look, so he's a new person today. So I met three.
Okay, great. Now, any other volunteers here? Yes, and please, you didn't tell me what you knew about them. Fine.
Yes, she's super smart. She's smart.
I'm smart.
Okay, I wasn't going to say that.
So another thing is it's like
Yes, Francisca, sorry. Sorry. Francisca. She's a journalist with journalism.
Yes, we like the billboards, yeah. Billboards, thank you. Sorry, so you don't really tend to.
Okay, so I met Audrey.
Okay.
She's a geek, I think. Yes, because she's a developer and currently she's developing for web, but she wants to try so many things. She's hacking a lot. She says she's hacking right now, and so she's now in space right now. And she's enjoying it, but then that's it. She says that I should get a life.
Okay, interesting. Those are the back. I didn't get anybody from the back. So I'll go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and push it back. So anybody? Okay.
Away in the space.
For
Hasbi.com.
Okay.
I met Alberta and Dominic.
So can you tell what they do like?
She's in computer science.
Okay.
It's extra. He works
You went to
construction.
Okay, so I think that's very simple now. So we'd like to zoom into the next session. So, I hope I'm not.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, welcome again, everybody. After all, we are relaxed right now. Now we know each other. Feel comfortable. What do you know? Oh, yeah, we're very good. Thank you. Great. So, I guess we all know why we're here. Women in Tech. What we're about. Yeah, we do. That's getting the sense. That's okay. So, like most people are here, just who's first time? Who's next? Like about 50%. Great. Okay, so really, it's women in tech Ghana. So women in technology. So you see that we have geeks amongst us, developers, software design, lecturers, and these academics. And people who work with IT generally. So this is just our forum, getting us together, identifying ourselves, acknowledging ourselves, and then building that network that encourages us to continue to remain, in this industry, and also, promoting each other. So this is really Ethel's dream for highlighting the African woman in technology and technology. So I'll play a video that she's asked to play. And this is one of our events. So as time goes on, we'll be sharing to you what we intend to do in Ghana, because now she's gone global. She's left us in one continent. So we need to establish what we're doing here in Ghana. And one of the things we do is have these person events just to showcase the women who are in tech, who are doing very well, just to encourage the rest of us. So that's why we're here. Also thank you again for making it. I'm very sorry, I'm impressed with the turnout. We're having cake at the start. But it's great. Next time, come and bring more people. So I'll just play this video. Let's hear what's adults say. Where is she? Amuzu.
the room. I wanted to create a safe space where women in the technology sector would come together, create opportunities for each other, network, and also affect their communities with their skill sets. So we started a while back in Ghana with a few women, and now we've grown to women in about 500 women in 30 countries across Africa.
And how is women in tech making a resonance?
So that's an interesting question. It's the question we ask ourselves all the time. So the content and being opportunity creation and networking. I mean, there are lots of stories where women come to our meetups or events and they meet and they share. And they help each other get jobs, they help each other get opportunities, and I think that's the core tenet of what we wanted to do. But as we grow, we want to be more scientific about what our impact will be. So we're looking at the problems that are facing women in the industry and how we can begin to tackle them. So I haven't answered your question, but the content is opportunity creation and networking, and we do that with the events. But we're beginning to do projects like we did International Women's Day when we trained female entrepreneurs on how to use technology to grow their business. But again, there's some empirical evidence. We're open and working on being data-driven and scientific about, the problem solving around the problem with women in the technology sector.
You mentioned the challenges facing women. What are some of the main challenges you think are facing the growth of women in technology?
Each person has a different story, and my story is being the only person in the room. My story is having a type A personality and maybe going to a boardroom meeting with another woman with a type A personality, and maybe coming out of these meetings and when women can't work well together, things like that affect our role and our ability to grow in business. So there are a lot of issues. I think there's always the pipeline discussion where there are not enough women in the sector, and we need enough women for diversity of products and different ways of thinking on building things. There's also the issue of women rising to the top of C-level positions or boardroom positions. And just the general fact that I think women are not thought of as being technically competent sometimes, and that's something that we have to fight against on a daily basis. For people like us who have proved that we are.
And what are the growth plans for Women in Tech Africa outside of Ghana?
Right, so over the next few months, we're looking to create physical chapters in a number of countries. So that would be in Nigeria, Lagos, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Zambia, and in Benin. So we're looking to create over the next 12 months 15 physical chapters, so that it's not because of the geographical dispersion of the women that they would have places to actually physically network, as well as virtually network with women across the country.
Right. Can you give us some examples of some of the initiatives you've seen women create in Ghana or elsewhere in Africa? Any great innovations you've seen women create in the technology industry?
There are amazing sets of women in the technology industry in Ghana that are running companies. And a really good example is Amuzu. So Amuzu used to be CTO of Nandimobile. She is now CEO of Nandimobile, which is a startup that helps businesses connect with their customers using technology. She has a very interesting story, and I love that part of the things we do is to ensure that people see the diversity even in the women in tech. And I love that Anne has a quiet personality, a reflective personality. When I bring her to events, she's speaking at our next event in Ghana on July 9th. Whereas I have a more extroverted personality, and I love to bring the diversity of personalities together to show that even in women in tech Africa, there is diversity. And then there's Regina. Regina has a wonderful story of starting a company, Circle Solutions, and also starting Techniques Girls, which trains girls in the slums across Ghana on how to code and how to program. And then there's Rashida, who just left about 2 years ago, that has just started, who's just built her business. And just women that are taking the lead and that are building technology and that are standing up and saying, hey, I am competent and I am wonderful and I am great at my job.
You're also a successful consultant. How have you seen technology consulting grow in Africa recently?
I think over the last 10 years that people understand more the need for technology to grow their businesses. And people understand more things that maybe even 5 years ago, like user experience, like requirements analysis, things that, before businesses didn't think were important to the technology or the software that they use in businesses. I find that there is more awareness. So there's more business for us, which is great. But yeah, I think there's definitely a growth there and more of an understanding of using technology for business growth. Facebook is a great example. You can go on Facebook. There are a large number of entrepreneurs that are almost the first step of e-commerce and that are quote-unquote selling by Facebook. They make pictures and images. And WhatsApp. WhatsApp never wants to create APIs. You need to come to Africa. There's a large number of people that do e-commerce solely based on their interaction on WhatsApp. So yeah, I think there is a more awareness of technology and how it affects our daily lives and how it grows businesses. And that means that more businesses and more individuals are willing to inculcate technology. We're not where we need to get to, but we're definitely on the road.
And finally, the diaspora outside of Africa. What are your plans with women in tech to try and harness the diaspora internationally?
So, Women in Tech Africa is launching on July 8th, the first diaspora event, which will be in London. And GovWorks has sponsored us with the venue, and we're very grateful. And the idea there for the diaspora groups is to look at the synergies between the women that are in the diaspora and the women back home, and how do we add value? How do those in the diaspora connect and add value on both sides? And for people that are thinking of starting business in Africa, how can we on the ground support them? So it's an interesting discussion to just really look at those discussions and that context and begin to understand where we can support each other, those in the diaspora and those out. And we're hoping that the Women in Tech Diaspora groups, now that we're launching London on July 9th, we'll be launching in Canada and the US soon, so it'll be very interesting to see the growth trajectory there.
Sorry, please switch to the blue down. Yes, please. Yeah, line to which is not
Alright, so I hope you got something from that. Yeah. She did tell me that they were having the session in London, but I haven't gotten feedback from there as to how it went. But I'm sure we'll share the links in our newsletter for the London launch. So I think time is fast paced, so let's just move straight from there. So I'd like to introduce our two speakers for one of them was already introduced. So I don't know. Oh no. Anne really inspires me. I went to her briefly, and the ideas that she had and the way she was using the technology and building up. Working in I remember that report, just guys always arguing. It's just nice to be around such a person who's focused and is moving forward. And it's been something innovative in technology in her space. Nandimobile too has a lot of. No, I can't just say success. You guys have done so much. And, yeah, no, I will. No, she's done a lot. So, please let's welcome Anne. So, Audrey, I can yeah, and she works with furniture, and they're doing something kind of unique in your field as well, and in the country, because we are used to this. But she's bringing something nice into the domain or the industry, and I think it's not just furniture, it's about decor, because I saw some of, you have other artifacts as well. Yeah, so you're going to speak more about what you've done, and thank you. So please help me welcome Audrey. So, start off, I know I introduced you in the wrong but we'll start off with you, Audrey. I'll help you out, to be sure.
Thank you everybody for coming, and it's nice to Philip, the other Philip, so nice to meet everybody as well. I'm here to share with you my dream, my passion, and how I've transformed that into a business. I just want to ask a question. Who wanted to be a pilot? You can show by hands. Anybody wanted to be a pilot when you were like 6? How about a surgeon? Anybody? Oh, there's a surgeon. Okay. How about a renowned artist? Anybody? Okay, that's weird, but we'll take it. A detective with maybe Ghana police or perhaps LAPD. Okay.
That's ambitious.
That's good. I like that. So I describe myself as a dream. My brain of being even more, but I can't really tell you. I'm going to tell you briefly about Tekura, and then I'll go on to what I have to share with you. From the slide, the picture in the center is my mother. In 2000, she quit her job and started this business. Now, she worked with just 2 artisans, and this was behind her house, under a tree. One would carve the wood, and the other would paint it. And she was making typical handicrafts, which is masks and figurines, what you see at Art Center in Oxford Street, a lot of that. And then she was exporting this to US and to parts of Europe. Now, the picture on the right is the raw material. She was using reclaimed wood from forest plantations in the eastern region of Ghana to make this. Now, over the years, we've grown to become a brand for handcrafted furniture and decor. And the picture on the right bottom shows you some of the beautiful pieces that we make. Everything is made right here in Ghana by Ghanaians. So this is 100% Ghanaian business. In 2008, I think I was in my 3rd year on campus, University of Ghana, and I dropped a couple of courses. I had so much time available, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, let me find some internship somewhere and kill time, how we describe it here in Ghana. So I spoke to a friend, tried out with a couple of banks, and it was unsuccessful. Then it hit me, your mom actually has a business, so why are you running around trying to find somewhere to work? You can just go and help out. So I actually decided, I spoke to her about it, and then I started. So I was doing any work because I didn't know what it was about. I had seen what she was doing, but I wasn't really involved. So I'll go to the office, clean it up, I'll run errands, file documents, type out letters, just to have some experience that I was working while I was in school. Now, when I got there, I realized it wasn't what I thought it was. It was interesting. But before all of this, I'm an artist. I'm sure I hope and believe that I look like an artist. I draw, I paint, I get crazy and I do stuff, But I never really thought of it as anything more than just painting or drawing. When I got there, I realized there was a lot of art. They were painting wood, they were carving shapes, motifs that were very interesting. And it appealed to me, there was a connection. So I started thinking, I started having big ideas, as you can see the dollar sign right there. I was thinking big. What can I do here? What can I bring on board, bring in? And I remembered, oh, I'm an artist. So in 2009, one of the tasks that was given me was to manage a gallery, which is actually not far. It's near no market. Just so I was tasked to manage that, and I put out a notebook for clients to just give their feedback. And what I noticed was, oh, I love your products, it's nice, but can you do this for me this way? So I realized the average Ghanaian and the experts as well were kind of tired of the roadside furniture. They wanted the bed, they wanted the dining set, they wanted cabinets for their homes and their offices, wherever you put it. So it struck me, I've got access to artisans, carpenters, wood painters, carvers, and I'm an artist. And interacting with the clients, I could get what they were talking about. It made sense to me what they wanted. And it's kind of like going to the seamstress to get a dress. You give her the specifications and you insist, I want it cut this way, So I got what they meant. I understood them. I understood what they were talking about. So next slide. I have this idea. Why not transform this thing that I love to do? I mean, when I'm painting, I feel I'm in heaven. That's how I feel. Why not transform that into a business? So I thought about it. I spoke to my twin sister about it. I brought it up to my mom, and she wasn't too keen on it because she was used to what she was doing, which is fine. And I knew I had to sell the idea to her. So I did a little study. I used the feedback from the clients, and then I ran it by people I met around. What do you think if, I did furniture that shows who we are as Africans. It's not just the diamonds that you buy from the roadside or from Orca Decor, but it's made to suit your tastes, how you want things done. And I was getting a lot of good feedback. People were interested, so I found my market. Then the next thing I had to do was move. I had to take a step. So I got my drawing materials, I got my paintbrushes, my pencil, my sketchbook. I did a bit of research to find out trends and what works here locally in Ghana. So I'll visit carpentry workshops, interact with them, get to know what they're doing, what the people want, and what works, what doesn't work. Pass by these decor shops as well and get to know what's going on, even understand how they price their products, all of that. So I did that, and I started with a few samples. I remember my first dining set, I was so excited. I was like, oh, I did it, but it wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. And what I wanted to do was, I showed a couple of clients, and one of them was okay with it. So she gave me an order. She gave me a huge order. At the time, I thought I was going crazy. How am I going to figure this out? But I did it. She gave me the chance. I did it, and that was the beginning of me and furniture. And it's been a beautiful journey. I'm not done yet, but it's growing. And now I don't really stress about, ooh, I've got my first order. What am I doing? I don't do that anymore. I figured my way. One thing I did is I did a lot of on-the-job learning. I'm working with the carpenters and I'm learning what they're doing. So if they say they're going to cut the wood in a mitre, I'm like, what's that? What does that mean? Because I need to figure out how do we support a table to make it steady. I learned all of these things whilst doing the job. So I made a couple of mistakes, losses, but it comes with the terrain. That's how entrepreneurs survive. And now I'm happy because custom-made furniture has become a part of Tekura. It contributes to our annual revenues. It contributes more than 50% of what we make locally. So it's become very relevant in our business. And it provides employment for artisans. I recently took in one more carpenter. So if it goes well, I take in more carpenters, artisans. I create employment. It makes me feel good. And yes, I mentioned the contribution to the earnings of Tekura. And the last bit is work and happiness. Like Indu says it. What better thing to do? A job that makes you happy. Sitting here and I'm excited. I could go on and on, but that's it. So thank you very much. I just wanted to share this with you.
So thanks. I guess my turn. Yeah, so then we'll have questions. Please can everyone hear me? I should start. I think I'll rather start. The two of you careful. So my name is Audrey, and I'm the CEO of Nandimobile. I told me the mistake. I've been CEO all along, but I was underground CEO. Yeah, so I am a developer. So, and I don't do interface development. Actually, hate it. I hate HTML and CSS. I prefer the back-end development. Yeah, so that's what I do. And how did I start? I know you didn't know. Me, when I was young, I didn't know what I wanted to become actually. I was that unserious. And I think I started liking computers after my BEC. There was nothing to do. So I used to follow my mother to her office. And at that time, she was in and so I was kind of learning and teaching her. Okay, because she didn't have the time. She was a nurse. She had to be doing her nursing, but she also had to learn this because it was required for having some projects she was doing. So I kind of learned it and kind of taught her. And I got very interested in the PowerPoint, for example, helped to create things, pictures, with birthday cards, and I was very happy. At that time, that was what made me happy. And so when I got to SS, I did science, and I was very interested in maths. So that actually tied into, okay, what I wanted to do, my lab of computers. I was like, okay, this sounds very interesting. If I'm very good in maths, I'm going to do engineering. And I think computers to be the best. So I decided to do computer engineering in the university. So yeah, as usual, as Ghanaians always, you just go through the school sum. You go and finish some. So I went and I finished some, but whilst I was in school, what really clicked me was I'm someone who doesn't like chewing for education. So I didn't like my university education actually. But when it came to this assignment, write this code and submit it, that one made me more happy. And so there was this thought right running through my head that I wanted to start my own business. But don't worry, I didn't have any plan. I didn't have any plan. Yeah, so I finished school as usual, and fortunately, I entered into a software training and entrepreneurship training school, and met two other great guys. And then together we decided to form a company called Nandimobile. Now the original idea was to make customer service better in Ghana because we thought that it was one of the best. And the best way we thought we would do it was using technology. So we came up with this idea, and to validate it, we talked to a number of people in town, just to get the idea. We did do customer support via SMS because we thought that when you call, being put on hold is very annoying. A lot of the troubles to it, and it's so annoying. And then at that time, there weren't a lot of people online. It's about 5 years ago. I said it was a long time, and she was laughing at me. Yeah, so we decided to use SMS because it was cheaper and it was more accessible. And this was this great idea we were going with. Talked to a lot of people. Oh, that is great. You should do it. You should do it. So we did it. Now we did it. Who is buying it? Nobody. No one is buying it. So that was lesson number one. When people say they want something, try to ask them how they will use it. So the problem we had with, we called it by the customer support, was one, the companies were not ready to put people behind it to be answering to the complaints. Okay, that is point number one. It's a great idea, oh, we receive it, but who in the company is doing it? No one. So then we are not going to buy it in the first place. And then point two, the only way at that time we could do that was through a short code, and it was kind of expensive to the end user because the cheapest short code we got at that time, now they have to be short code, but the cheapest short code we got at that time was 10 pesos. So sending 10 pesos back and forth was really very expensive for the end user. And then they are also put off by it. So then it didn't work. We got a few companies to buy into it, but of course they weren't using it because either they don't have the personnel or the customers are not sending it. But if you pitch the idea, I'm sure when I said it in the play, everybody was like, wow, what a great idea. Yeah, it didn't work. So we decided to work with Infoline, which she came to help me with. So that was our second product that we decided to build. And that was more of marketing. So we thought that instead of making it dependent on a human being, why not make it automatic? So kind of you already put the answer there and people text and they get the answer to the question instead of you having to put someone there. And this time the person has to text just once to be able to get the message. So that made more sense. And then it also had a more messaging part to it. So that made more sense. So actually, that is what we were able to run with as a company, and we still have that product in the market for Infoline. Yeah. And then as time is going on, we realized that now, at that time, there weren't a lot of smartphones. I think Android had just been in Ghana, and only a few people had some Android phones. But now almost everybody, I'm sure almost everybody here has a smartphone, or everybody here has a smartphone, let me put it that way. So now we realize that people are moving more towards mobile applications, and SMS is kind of slowing down, slowly getting out. Yeah. So now our focus is in what is the best mobile application that fits our business vision. And our vision, as Ethel said, is connecting businesses to their customers. That is our core vision. Yeah. So that's what we do. So we decided to build this mobile app. We realized that business information in Ghana is very scattered. It's either found on somebody else's website, or even if it's at a central base, it is not updated. Okay, even on company websites, it's even not updated. Yeah, so we decided that we are going to build a mobile directory that will solve this problem of making it a centralized business information and also keep it more updated. So it's an app that we'll come up with by next month. Hopefully that will also fly like Impolite did. It would be like quite like yeah. So yeah, that's my basically my story. So a few points to take out. As tech people, like pitching, you want to make a statement, me too, I can do so. Please, if you can do it and no one will use it, there's no use for it. Make sure people will use what you are creating. It's not about who is the best hacker in the world. If your hacking doesn't do it, then no one cares actually. It's about what are you hacking to achieve? What are you creating? Are people going to use what you are creating? Yeah, you are a good programmer, but let's make something that is useful for us. Okay, so make sure in Ghana here we have this idea that people will steal our ideas. Please share. If you don't share, how will you know if people will even use it in the first place? Okay, maybe if you have an idea that you think MTN might copy, don't go and tell MTN because it's not MTN people that will use it, it's the MTN users that will use it. So at least get some users to talk to them, bounce it off them, and then hear their reviews about it before you even go too far with the idea. Or you finish building it and then no one is using it. Okay. So that is one point. Make sure your idea is something that people would use and build something that people would use. Okay. And then when you finish, the next point is you have to sell it, whether you like it or not. And if you are selling an idea, nobody cares about NFC, GPS. Some people don't really understand it. What will it do for me? Simple terms. So it has GPS and NFC and so what? Okay, what will it do for me? Okay, it will help you know exactly where you are standing. That is more understandable than listing all the features and the tech terms when you are selling to someone. Just make it like the person is coming, is a class one student, okay, doesn't know all the acronyms, and try to tell them what it will do for them rather than the features that you have, because no one really cares. Okay. I think those are the 2 points I've taken so far from my business journey. Yeah. So I think I'll end there. Thank you.
Right. Right. Thank you very much for the presentation. How's everyone feeling? Do we have things that are on our mind, things that we need to clear up, that we want to ask our presenters?
I have a question for you. How, with the furniture business, how is technology implemented?
Using the internet is one of our created a website. So if you're looking for furniture, for decor, search Tekura comes on the list. So it helps us connect with our clients or potential clients across the globe. It doesn't mean just Ghana. Social media. Social media helps us talk about what we're doing, show our products, even selling, like you're talking about. I said sometimes I sell on WhatsApp or Viber or Facebook. You share pictures of new products and people see, oh, I like it, and please send your name. How can I get this? And then you sort that out with them. Something I started recently was I got an app called Bamboo. It helps me sketch, so I don't always have to have my sketchbook and a pencil. If I have my tablet, I just open Bamboo and draw. So it makes the work also efficient.
In terms of sales, in terms of reaching out to your end user eventually, like you're talking about social media, do you think that your company would have been able to get to the point where it's gotten to without all of that?
I don't think so. I think technology has come to save us all. You can communicate with somebody in Kuwait because of WhatsApp or Viber, and it's sort of put us on a fast track. So instead of the client driving all the way to Osu to come and find what I have, they just go on the internet and they find me. The presence we have on the internet has sort of pushed us closer to our clients, and it has a reflect in us. So it's plus.
Thank you. So I have 2 questions from people who are listening, like from outside. So one, what does Tekura mean? So that's to you.
Okay. I mentioned earlier that my mother started this business actually. In Ghana, we have these names. I'm called Ama, and there's something that comes out of it. So Ama, Tekura, or something else. Atopam, another sort of thing. My mother's called Abakrachua, and then my dad is called Kwekutechi. So Techi and Kranchoa, they played with it, and then they came up with Tekura.
Okay, thanks. That's very interesting. So that's a brand that you're using in selling. So the second one is for both of you. What were the worst things you had to deal with, like when you were starting out? That's from Echo. Did you hear me at the back? Sorry. So I just had a question for our presenters. What was the worst thing that they had to deal with when they were starting out? Yeah.
Do you understand?
It's
Come in, so you can hear. I have 3 seats. Please.
There were a lot, actually. A lot of things are running in my head, but one that stands out was the fact that I was a woman making furniture. We're still warming up to the idea of going and taking certain positions in our society. And so if I go to the workshop and I'm working with the guys, not everybody there was comfortable. Some were very hostile, and it wasn't helpful for business because I've taken an order, I have to get it done. It was a challenge, but I'm working on it. It's still not 100% perfect, but
But you just feel it.
there's a little bit. If I step out, if I go outside my workshop, if I use the workshops around,
Yeah.
I sometimes come across that. But I've created a way of handling that just so I can push my business. So that's what I'm still doing.
That was so just, is there a follow-up? Or okay, then I will take it.
Now, I wanted to know whether you have women as artisans. And if you do, since you from your speech, you said you learn from the artisans, right? You also teach them some technology skills that they will also adapt and they will be part of us space as well.
Okay, thank you for your question. Yes, I do. Pardon?
a two-part question, so yes, it's two.
So yes to the both of the questions. How do I put this? Right now, something I do with my artisans, we use WhatsApp to communicate, and this is something I've been pushing for a while. But not all of them had the smartphones. So a couple of them got it because there's WhatsApp and Viber and Facebook. So a couple of them got that. So I don't always have to sit together with them to break down a job. I can send them the image. I say, take your time and go through this. I'll see you later in the day, and then we discuss. We create a plan for it. So yes. And the second question was? We do have women artisans. The process of making the furniture, I'll just summarize that. We cut the wood, it goes through either carpentry directly or wood turning or carving. And then it goes through drying, sanding, and then finishing. Now, a lot of the machine work, cutting the wood to the carpentry, is handled by men. But with sanding it, to get it smooth, and then painting it to give it that color or that finish, most of them are women. So we have an internship program. We've got master artisans, and 2 of them are women actually. So when we are training new people, we take more for the handwork, the painting and the sanding. We encourage a lot more women to do that. And we've actually had one who requested to learn how to carve, but I'm still waiting for her to come back. She said she's going to her hometown, she'll be back. So I'm waiting for her.
I have a question.
Here's my question.
Yeah. Okay, so it's between 2 things. I don't know if I can focus. So the beginning days, my worst time was, I won't mention the company name, wanted to do a pilot with us. They had this very cold server room. I had to spend 1 week there, going there every day. And at the end of the day, we didn't do the pilot because they changed management. Yes, so all my time, I said, how cold? It's not this cold. Those of you who understand, you understand. I was like, seriously. So why did you let, and it was Christmas time. It was Christmas time. And then the other one is more about my personality. So I started a company with two guys. Now when you walk into the room, you are not seen as the CEO or the tech person. Like both of them are far away. And with my also being the quiet type and the smallish type, it really makes my matter worse. Okay? So every time you kind of have to, I'm also not an extrovert, but I've had to learn how to push myself to kind of make myself more visible than I would normally do. Normally, me, I don't talk like that. I'm just so there sitting at the back there. It's kind of, I don't know whether it's our culture or it's the business thing, but you kind of have to learn how to put yourself out there, or people just don't see you or they don't take you serious. So I don't know, between the two of them, which one is the worst?
Okay. So,
Just a quick one. What do you think is the lifeline of SMS? Because we still have companies who are working very actively in SMS space. But like you were saying earlier, we can see it. Apps are the thing right now. What do you think is the lifeline of SMS? And when is it going to die?
It won't die, but it will be very minimal. I think give it maybe another 3 to 5 years, I think. Or maybe about 5 years. The reason why I'm saying that is, you see, we are yet to find or get an app that can communicate with another device without having the same app on it in terms of communication. So if I have WhatsApp, you also have to have WhatsApp before we can communicate, okay? So we still have the use for SMS if you just want to do one thing and everybody gets it, okay? Rather than having, or unless one particular app becomes very popular, maybe WhatsApp is getting there, I don't know. Becoming so popular that everybody has it and you can just send that one message, and because everybody has WhatsApp, everybody will get it. Yeah. So I think that's the only limitation that the app then has. So if you really want to send without thinking about whether the person will get it or not, it is still SMS. Yeah, but I think as time goes on, the apps will catch up with that kind of limitation, and then I'm sure SMS will be. It will still, it won't be obsolete.
So I think it will evolve into something else.
It's evolving. There's flash SMS now. A lot of telcos use flash SMS instead of sending you the SMS. So it might evolve into other things, but still the apps might overtake. That's right.
okay. So you, and then there's a question at the back, so start here.
I wanted to know how is Nandimobile still just the three of you, or do you have additional employees? How large are you now? And also, do you still? I mean, are you actively developing, or is your time being taken by more management as the CEO?
So Nandimobile has evolved a lot. Okay, so we started with co-founders, did some contractors, did interns and all of that. But actually, the founders, I'm the only founder left. And then the people who are with me are people who joined us earlier on. Okay, so we have kind of evolved the stages. And now I think I do more management than coding, which I don't like because I don't have a choice right now. So now it's more of managing the business than coding.
Yeah, you said that founders left. Do they still have shares in the company?
She wants us to talk shares. I know it's for you, but there's something called vesting, okay? So everybody has shares in the company. They are founders of the company. So they still have shares in the company, but depending on how long you stay in the company, it depends on how much shares you get.
Question
questions?
Yeah, sorry I came in late. I just saw the end of this. Now, my first question is, what next after the now? Are you with me? I'm saying I saw the slide. Now, the next, my question is, what next? And then it appears you rely so much on social media. But then not everybody has access to that. What can you do to promote your products? You're talking of patronizing the young products, or you rely only on social media.
Okay. So this is just to me. The now is for both of us. Okay, so you get it. So the next step for me now is to go beyond Accra, go beyond. I'm already exporting, but I'm looking to create a partnership with another party where I can have a strong representation in Europe, America, and Africa. So I want to focus on continents and not just certain regions. That's the next chapter for me. Your other question was other ways that I market my business. Because we're talking about technology, I brought that up, but we attend exhibitions. Exhibitions has been the main tool that we use to promote our work. We attend exhibitions locally and outside Ghana as well. Yeah, that's it.
Exhibitions and technology, social media. Okay.
I thought I answered my what's next.
Just a second.
I answered my what's next. So what next is the addition of our application. I hope that is clear. I said we are moving from SMS into mobile applications. Yeah, that's where we're going.
How has that transition been like? Moving from what you started with to mobile?
Was it a transition? Okay, I think the transition will be more of in the business sense rather than in the technology sense. Because before we built our products, I was already doing mobile applications. But right now it's in how we are marketing the app. So our web app was B2B, as in business to business. So you just have to walk to the business or have a contact in the business and then sell to them. Okay. But with the mobile application we are building right now, we will have to appeal to the mass audience. So in that case, our strategy of marketing would change. Yes, so we will have to find other ways of. Maybe that would be quite a learning curve for us. Let's get to them.
Yes, which one? And yes.
Not yet, because we are targeting businesses, not individuals. WhatsApp is more from individuals to individuals, but if for we're targeting people who were kind of targeting the mass market, like which company would I use? Okay, let me use the one we want. A church, for example, they want to reach their congregation. Okay, they will not send a WhatsApp to the whole congregation. Okay, they would rather use SMS. So because we are targeting businesses, we haven't seen much of that switch yet. Maybe for smaller companies, they will now use WhatsApp because the people they are targeting are maybe smaller. So they will use WhatsApp today, but for the big businesses, SMS is the way.
So Alex, I have a question for both of you. I think sorry.
answer this one. That, so one thing I find, or that comes to mind is when you're a business, especially in tech business in Ghana, you're trying to create the kind of resistance that you get. You did speak about it, so you have a product nobody is using. But sometimes I think, how do you educate your customers or people that your potential clients that this is something that you need to get, and then you move to sell? But I think you have that. That barrier. I mean, no, we don't need this because we have this one technology which is inefficient. You like that, yes. So, maybe something you can address.
Okay, so that barrier has been there and is actually still there. Some companies are still very difficult to sell to. So what works is giving them a trial and then giving them training. Actually, there are some companies we've trained more than 10 times and we still train them. Yeah. You have to do it. Whether if you want them to use your software, you just have to do it. So when you are giving a trial, make sure you have someone who is your friend in the company and is using the software. Or you come back after, I don't know how long you want to give them the trial and you haven't touched it. You haven't done anything about it, and then you have to start all over again. So you have to get this one person in the company who is responsible. At least, so when you go and say you want to give them a trial, let them give you the person who will be using it during the trial period. And always make sure the person that's using, call the person. Okay, and then understand the business. For us, for example, when it's getting to holidays, we call some of our clients, or Mother's Day. Oh, Mother's Day is about coming. Don't you think you want to send messages to your clients or to your whatever about Mother's Day? And maybe to click them. So know the business and know how they're supposed to use your software and then suggest it to them. Get someone that you can call every time and make sure they are using it. And if they see the value in it, then they are going to. It's a long process, but that's how business works.
This one what is the name Nandimobile? The name of the company which is very good. So, and do you have any projects in mind for young girls out there so that to build their interest in products?
Okay. Nandimobile, we got it as a combination. So the mobile is an English word. Yes. And then there's Nandi. So one of the co-founders actually grew up in Zambia, and we wanted a word that means connection. And he said Nandi means friend in Wemba language, it's a Zambian language. So he decided to take the U out. It wasn't sexy enough. And we took just the Nandi. And then because we are doing mobile stuff, we just got to it. So that's how we got the name Nandi. And the second question, what am I doing for other young girls? I'm not officially doing much. I more do one-on-one mentoring. Yeah, so let's identify people and encourage them and give them opportunity to do so. But if I get the chance to join the official ones, if I do join them, that's what I do.
So you're running a business?
Yes.
And not a how do you manage as a CEO to run your business? Because aside you being a tech person, you need to know a little bit about marketing, accounting, HR. So how do you handle that as a tech person and as an individual?
Yes. Actually, you just have to learn it. Yeah, so she mentioned part of that. Some of it, you make a mistake, it hits you hard, and you go and learn it, or you learn it through the experience. But as the challenges come up, you just pick it up and learn it. So I've actually had to learn accounting actually, and do the accounting sometimes. At least the unofficial one that you can use to see what is happening. Yeah, I can do that. And then for the other ones, I guess you can learn from other people. Get someone as a mentor and then bounce ideas off the person.
And me, I'm a tech person, so Google is my friend. I Google everything, yeah, and try to get ideas from other places as to how things are done. Yeah, so I've had to learn a lot of things on the job actually. And the other problem with Googling is, especially if you have a product for Ghana, some of what they suggest actually doesn't work in Ghana. Yeah, so you still have to make mistakes and learn from your competitors. For example, how are your competitors doing it, and try to learn from that. Audrey.
Obviously, you're looking at scaling up, and a lot of the material that you put out is handcrafted. Is there any way that you're going to mechanize, the work that you do, or is it still going to be handcrafted? And I'm thinking about in terms of you going outside the shores of this country, the orders coming in as large as they will be. Are you still going to stick to a handcrafted thing, or are you going to?
We're currently doing a bit of both. Handicraft can be purely handmade, or a bit of machines and a bit of hand. We're doing a bit of both. And we're selling not just products, but a story from Africa. Each piece carries the spirit of Africa, what's in the land of Africa. So we will maintain certain aspects of the handmadeness, or if I should say the handmadeness of the product. And upscaling, we have a plan to work with, I mentioned, a partner on the other end. So let me just break it down. If we can have a huge warehouse and stock it, then they retail. So it's not going to be like as it is now. It's determined by which pieces of tables that the buyer selects. So we have our product lines, and when we test the market, we usually test the market. So if you know five of them work, we're going to focus on those ones.
Also have a question, because you mentioned machine. So I don't really know of machines in your industry right now. I'm just thinking about capital. So how is that looking like in Ghana, and where are machines coming from? I guess in the manufacturing area. Are you designing and getting them made? Or is this something we export?
We brought in some machines from Germany, like the bandsaw machine, which cuts the logs into the blocks. Yeah, so that we brought some machines in, and with the carvers and the wood turner, they make their own machines from metal, local metal and wood. But part of our project is to bring in a wood miser. The wood miser is like better technology for a bandsaw. With a bandsaw, it's tedious. For instance, the artisan has to carry the log and put it on the machine and push it. It's a thin blade through the machine, so he has to push it through the machine and the blade, and it's a lot of manual work. So with the wood miser, it's on wheels. The cutter is on wheels. I actually witnessed this. It's exciting. So he pushes it, and because of the wheels and it's just the blades, it's not as heavy as carrying the log onto the machine. All they have to do is actually roll the log over to a specific location and then cut it. And the wood miser will cut both sides. So you push it and then you cut the other sides, and then you have a sweat, you have a block. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah, it's about how is so affecting?
It's a challenge, especially if a lot of the processes requires energy. The machines that they use, and even sometimes if we have to work overnight, those paintings actually really like to see. So it's affected our production. The cost goes up, and then it affects demand as well, because it gets too expensive and people wouldn't want to buy. And then our timelines are shaky. You tell your client, oh, I'm going to use 6 weeks, and you end up using 10 weeks. So you have to keep either hiding from your phone or telling your assistant, tell her I'm busy, I'm working, you know, that sort of thing.
So you had your hand up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yes, sorry about
I think we remember this.
I think for us, it's mostly, it has affected us, of course, cost to go up. But yeah, things outside some of these things, so that's its problem. But the other part is your clients still don't use your software as they would normally do. So they have excuses like, oh, or Vodafone got down, my internet is not working, so we didn't send the message because of that and that. So sometimes we have had to send the messages for them, even though that's not what we do, because they are having technological challenges.
Mine, it's not really a question, it's suggestions. Okay, I like to start with one of the big challenges we get with expansions. It's exciting and it's really, really nice, but then reach your particular brand, one of the challenges you get is your brand itself, using your brand. You have a brand already, it is made by hand. In as much as you want to expand, you want to make more of it, you want to automate the process, technology could go against your business because you may get carried away by what you can automate, and then you want to do it, and you find that less and less of your process becomes less of that effect. There's something my mom used to say. If you cook a pot of soup with the calabash pot, it always comes out different than when you cook it with that steel pot that was baked. Why? Because of that calabash pot. Like you're saying that you're making a product with that calabash pot, but then somehow you can't get the calabash pot to be as big as you want it to be, or to look as fancy as you want it to be. And if you now say, okay, let me just try, they just made this very nice big steel pot, let me try and make it. It's not really going to make so much of a difference. Before you know, you make one soup with it, you make another soup with it, and before you know, calabash pot becomes a thing of history. And over time, you just lose that effect. So in as much as you're trying to expand and to grow, try not to lose your brand, because there are some people who patronize your business because it is handmade. There's some people that really go excited by the fact that, oh, this thing, someone made it by hand. And there's this effect it just gives, there's this appeal it gives, knowing that this thing was crafted by a human being in their hand. It gives you the selling power. It gives you the advantage over every other furniture out there. So just put that into consideration as you expand.
Thank you.
Okay. And then a suggestion for you. SMS in Africa will not die in the next 10 years. It will be a tremendous part of the African business. The reason why I say this is more and more businesses are looking towards connecting with the rural environment. And in as much as smartphone is the hype in the city right now, it's not so much of a hype in the rural settings. You find that people are trying to get as much local people to use technology. And the easiest way to get them to use it is using that small phone that really doesn't have much on it, but it's just, you can make a call. A lot of businesses, they do that with agriculture, you see most of those things. So in as much as you want to catch in with the new trend of mobile app, try as much as possible to see how you can expand what SMS has for you, because there's a lot you can do with SMS. It's really fascinating. People have games that are running on SMS. I know of a friend who plays this SMS game, and though he has a smartphone, because he's so intrigued by that, the logic behind the game, and his score line right now, he doesn't care about, if you move it to a mobile app, he's just going to be angry and just deceive. So try as much as possible to build on it. There is still so much with SMS. And even as you go mobile, to build the mobile app as well, try as much as possible to make it easy for people to integrate in. So this functionality here should also be as seamless as what SMS proves to be. Because the attraction right now is make it fancy, make it quick. That's the thing we do, we start off with text. And most of them crash sooner than they start. So just be careful and then try as much as possible not to experiment too much.
Okay, so you talked about a certain aversion or a certain reaction to you being a woman among men or male carpenters or male artisans. And you didn't mention anything about that, but the tech world is believed to be dominated or used to be dominated by men. I'd like your experience on that, and for the both of you, I'd like to hear how you dealt with it. Because I had to bring in the gender card here. Yeah, for some people,
it's the women. Exactly. This is why we break those barriers.
So, every woman goes through this at one point in her career, at one point in her life. But for these industries that you find yourselves in that are perceived as, the men's world, how did you get over all of that?
I think I put a bit about it, about going into a meeting. No one wants to see you as the CEO in the first place or the tech person
Because you were a woman.
I was actually in a meeting. I think that time we were going on a sales call, and I just wanted to go with our salespeople. And we were in this meeting, and they were trying to explain some technical challenges they were having with it. And the guy was bold enough to say, okay, I know you are the salesperson, so let me talk to the guys. Let me talk to the guys. And at that point, it was a sales call, so I didn't really like to be talked down. And the guys were like, please, talk with me about it. Tell her about it. Again, the guy was like, are you sure? Okay. So you just have to get used to it. That you are not going to be seen as the person. Maybe you might have to do something to be seen. Sometimes you don't have to do something. When they go around that, they'll come back to you. Yeah, because I'm the one going to deal with the problem in the first place. So if you go around, I don't feel offended. Because maybe because I have gotten used to it or I don't care. And it doesn't decrease my work or decrease what I do if you don't think I'm the tech person. But at the end of the day, if you need the tech, you have to talk to me. So you can talk all you want with the guys, and at the end, you come back to me.
Can I do a follow-up on that? So, the instance that you just cited, usually you are in the position where they need your help.
Yes.
Can you have the inverse when you need them to work for you? They don't say,
You have to send it to them.
for example, yes, so how do you get them, or how do you communicate with them to get the job done when it's in your interest to get them to work with you?
Okay, if you are selling with someone, okay, as in getting
People who work for you, like maybe
people who work other developers, that hasn't been a problem. Actually, I haven't experienced it in that sense yet. I haven't experienced it in that sense yet. But I guess as women, we have learned that we always have to do more to prove ourselves. Seriously. So yeah. If you are in the same place with a guy and you are at the same level, they might not see you. You always have to. Yes. Okay, so yeah.
I have two.
Sorry, she didn't.
Oh, she has. Okay. So you actually answered the question, or is it something directly related to what she just said? She's giving you some looks. Please go ahead, quickly.
Don't you know how she balances? It's like
Seriously.
Okay, so can I use that?
This is how I handled that. When I was I'll cite this example. When I was in high school, my sister and I wanted to play football. We've been playing football since we were kids. But perhaps because we were petite, they didn't think we could do it. So we had to push our way through, get to be on the field, and show them the talent that we had. So, similar experience, I get there, I push, I show them what I can do, and something I noticed with men is competence is important to them. If they notice you know what you're about, you can do it, they start to give you respect. So I learned the ropes, and then now when I speak to for instance, with those I work with, when I speak to them, okay, we need to break it down, do this, that, they listen. Initially, they thought, oh, she's just a pretty face who's got a job from her mom, and she probably doesn't know what she's doing. But I learned, and now I deal with them. With clients, I barely ever have that experience, but they usually give me this look, wow, she made that. That's what I experienced. It's not very, how do I call it? It's not very negative, it's not very strong. So, yeah.
Very big. Yeah. If you want to answer that question. So she's just being very naughty. How do I balance it? Probably. You have to balance it. I guess everyone does it a different way. We all have ways that work for us. I guess because I'm an entrepreneur, I find ways around my work schedule, maybe to get some things done. I don't have children yet, so maybe I don't have to do too much in terms of family. Yeah, but I don't even know what to say, but you just make it work when you want to. I guess both of them are very important. You don't have to get too caught up in work so that your family suffers. Okay? So as much as possible, you try to get the two apart, and just because I think the little things, I don't have children, I have a little sister, and I think what works most for her is when you have time to listen to all her gabble about her school friends. She got why did she get the best man in school? Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but if you are there to listen to her, it's really very nice for her. So if I can be there for her, I will go and sit in my office there and say that I'm good. And if it's time to be in the house, just be in the house and be there for yourself. Any last yeah. So from you guys, any final words? I don't know. Or anything from
Okay, I'll give my final words so that I can say.
Yes, you can hide whatever you want.
I think my final word is I guess if you have an idea, just do it. Okay? And just do it doesn't mean just go and build it and know how we use it. But just do the research you need to do and do it. Don't overthink it. Yeah, we are developers. Sometimes we overthink the ideas too much, and we tend to build the ideas too big. Think about the smallest feature that will work. Test it on your market and get that one out. The other features, as you get reviews from your clients, you can add them later. Thank you.
My final words. I think last week I posted a picture of myself painting, and I wrote Sankofa de Yinchi. I'm painting and I feel like I'm 10 again. And a comment one of my friends put there was, our childhood experiences and our memories are very important. They can shape and form our future. And I have a typical example. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to give 5 minutes to game nerds, right? So just give us a little presentation. So they have been streaming this event live. Paul, please. You have the floor to tell yourself.
So I was told there would be 5 people here. I was horribly lied to by Ethel. So I'll just pretend I'm talking to these people. Yeah. My name is Paul. I work out of iSpace. Actually, I'm the founder of Game Nerd. It's a video game solutions company. And my story is probably just as crazy as these lovely names over here. Ethel is one of my mentors. She's not just about women in tech. She inspires a lot of people, myself included. And what we do is we use video game technology, one of which is live streaming, to try and sort of change people's mentality on how much video games can impact the community or what video games are actually about. Because a lot of people don't realize that video games make more money than music and movies put together. Like 4 years ago, a video game came out and it made more than the Titanic did in an hour. So it's a lot of job opportunities, it's a lot of educational opportunities, and there's a lot of ways that people can benefit from video games. For example, the SMS games you were talking about, or if you could get something interactive to teach people how to make furniture, or more fun ways to teach people how to develop. So we are looking to plug into things like this, and this was something, live streaming is something I did and thought it was just something that was for video games. So it's actually Ethel who was like, do you know what you can do with this? And I'm like, and then she was like, okay, because of last Women in Tech, we streamed that. And then, back and forth, and I was like, okay, I kind of assumed this was something everybody knew, but it's not. So we're looking to kind of put ourselves out there, that this is what we do and this is how you can plug in and basically share what it is. So I think there's quite a few people watching now, so I was glad I could help, and thank you for the opportunity. My desk is right outside.
Email.
Game Nerd, Twitter is basically Game Nerd Inc. INC. Twitter, Instagram, all the popular social media places were there. Our website just came up as well, GameNerdInc.com. If you have any questions about video games, anything, we're always available 24/7. We don't sleep. So we have some problems. All right, thank you.
That helped me. Thanks. Go ahead.
Do you have a game right now? A game that someone can engage in? Do you have a game already?
So at the beginning of this year, we organized something called the Global Game Jam. It's sort of like the world's biggest video game hackathon. And we didn't develop games, but quite a few people showed up. So we started what you call an indie development studio. They've actually started working on the games that they developed during the Global Game Jam. What a game jam is, you have between Friday to Sunday to build a game. That's basically 2 days, Doomsday included, to build a game. And we're actually able to build a game before Sunday. People came with zero video game development experience, but they were able to build a game, upload it, and we got very encouraging results. We even took that, what we thought was a really horrible game, to a school, and the kids went hysterical. So we're like, okay, we're onto something. So between now and then, we've been making improvements for the game. We've been trying to keep it hush hush so that when it comes out, we're actually ready. So we are actually having some sort of games development happening. We are trying to be as retroactive as possible, meaning we'll just listen to what people need or want and then try and cater something towards them instead of bringing something that nobody even wants to use, as she said. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so thank you guys. I hope you're not all so exhausted. You saw but before we do that, I'd like to thank everyone here, and I want my co-presenter, Masai, to do that for us.
Yeah, okay. Hope everyone enjoyed this session today. Yeah, and you've learned a lot out of everything that was taught today, right? Okay, so we thank you so much for coming for today's program. And we are actually looking forward to you guys coming over to our next event so that we make it all successful. However, we don't want to switch whereby we come here and then we all leave and go to our various places. there are hidden potentials in each and every one of us that at least if we all get to connect and work together, I think we will actually come out well. So I'd like to use this opportunity to thank each and everyone for coming. You know, it's late and all, but then you guys have made it and we are proud of you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So say thanks to Audrey and to iSpace for giving us this week and hosting us. So maybe next time we'll have another company. Maybe Nandimobile will host us. Or Tekura. Yeah, among your beautiful furniture, but thank you. So we still have the space for a couple more minutes. So please say hi to people. I keep because of it.
I just want to change I just want to change
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Can I get your attention please? Hello. Please, for waiting for GIJ wants to actually give a brief introduction to the
This weekend is out.
So please, if you can call me again, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Just 5 minutes. My friends and I are working on a project called Accra Soup. Accra Soup is our response to the global soup movement that was started in Detroit, in Michigan. Soup, SOUP. It's a micro granting giver that supports social projects in Accra. So we are trying to have our first one in August, first August, that's what we're voting. So when people come to Accra Soup, we want to invent the student. When people come, they pay 5 cents at the door, and they enter. When they come, we listen to 4 people just pitch 4 ideas, 4 separate ideas, that can help improve the city of Accra. So it can be ideas from education to social justice to youth development, any idea that can help improve the city of Accra. After that, we serve the light soup. We have light soup, we serve light soup. Chicken. Chicken and fish, so you choose. So we serve the light soup and we vote. Everybody who comes will vote for the idea, the best idea among the 4 that was presented. Then we count the money, then we count the votes. So the money that was collected, all the 5 seats that everybody takes. Then the idea of the most votes gets to win all the 5 seats that was collected at the door to fund the idea. That's what the crash is based on. So we're trying to have the first one of so maybe about it. On Facebook, crash okay, so we have to find the
Yes.
I came in the
You forgot me. Thank God.
Mama Lucy. Okay.